Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. We're just going to wait a minute here to get everybody in. Hi, Tammy.
Hi, Janice. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Susan and Joan, Rose, Joanna. Welcome.
Great to be here.
Pardon?
Great to be here.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Me too. Okay, that's working. Good. We'll put this up. All right. Perfect. We'll get set up here. And already I'm going to pull a card for us. Cute. Oh. Cool. I'll have to share this again, but we have the high priest, intend and create, a big part of the message today. Intentions and creating. I love it. So I'll explain that in a minute. So feel free to get yourself a drink, a tea, light a candle, create your sacred space.
Already done.
Already done. Yes. Got some nice music on in the background for yourself.
No, not yet.
No.
Brenda McMorrow's my choice today.
Oh, okay. I'm just looking for White Buffalo Catwoman, the card. She's hiding. There she is. Okay. Beautiful day where we are right now. So you guys, just if you're comfortable, put your, where are you from? Put it in the chat for us. And I'm curious to know where everyone is from. Hi, Jen. Hi, Karen.
How are you?
I am so good. How are you?
I am great. I'm so excited for today.
Pleasure to have you here. All right. So if you're just coming in, just put in the chat where you're from. Just give us an idea. Say hello. And we are going to get started here in less than 1 minute. Perfect. Oh, okay. So one of the things that I do before we even get started here, I'll switch my camera to show you, is that I create sacred space. I have two cards that I pulled here. This one I intentionally pulled out because this is the White Buffalo Catwoman card, and I'll explain that in a minute. This is the High Priest card, which came out for us. So the High Priest card is a card of telling you that it's time for you to set your intentions and to go ahead and create what it is that is in your heart. And this is very this is very fitting for today because what we're going to talk about is the fact that we are powerful creators, and we're beginning to realize that as a whole, people are starting to really come into that awareness of, hey, I am a creator of my reality, and I do have some influence in what's going on. And this is going to continue to grow and expand in our awareness as more and more people begin to intend and create. And that rising of creative energy is incredible. It's going to be very powerful. So the other thing I do is I have, and I just excuse my arm there, is I do a little smudge. I always do a little smudge or cleansing for my space, for me to clear out any energies that I might be holding on to from my life and what's going on, and my canvas. So I will give a little white sage to my canvas as well. Okay. I also use sweetgrass. Sweetgrass brings in the blessings. So as I intentionally call in, you know, my guides, my higher spirits, we call in, you know, White Buffalo Calf Woman to come and give us some of her energy and her knowledge. I do that. And then I always have kind of my crystals. This is a very meditative, intentional journey that we're going on. And so we want to walk into that consciously, intentionally. Hi, Dalmain. I don't see you here, but you must be here. Let me gallery view. Okay. And who else is coming in here? We got a few of you. Okay, perfect. So as you settle into your space and maybe light a candle, maybe put on some quiet music, you can get your palette ready. We're going to be walking through some specific colors to start with, but you remember to always, I'm going to show my face here while I talk, to always go with what your intuition says. So if I say use red paint and you're like, I really wanted to use blue, then you just go for it and use whatever paint color comes to you. So hello to everyone here. There's new people here that maybe have never seen me before. My name is Janice Gallant, and I am an artist. I am a teacher that is transitioning out of teaching in the classroom and going full-time into my business. This business is Soulfully Aligned Women, where I help you remember your power, remember your purpose, come back into your heart. Soulfully Aligned Women is about, you come back into alignment, into the heart space. And as you do that, you feel that connection and you feel that sense of, oh, that feels better. I am more solidly grounded now. And we do lots of different activities, women's circles, creative activities, and journaling and painting, drawing, whatever comes up to inspire us. So, sorry, I know I have a shadow here. That's the camera that is going to show my canvas. So, welcome, and welcome to everyone watching the recording afterwards also. In 2021, how this started. Well, actually, I started my business back in 2017 after I wrote my book. But in 2021, I had a program. I had a year-long container with a group of women. There were 13 women that joined me in that container. And we walked the whole year together. So it was powerful. The women that came in were absolutely incredible, powerful women. And not saying that you're not. It's just the women that were drawn together into that brought through so much energy. And each month I created no, I channeled a theme and the message came through for us. And we would gather 3 times per month. So we would gather at the beginning of the month, we'd receive the channeling, the theme, the messages, and I created booklets for everyone so that each month they had a booklet. And I'm telling you this because this is something that I'm doing in the Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystic Certification Program. We're going to be doing this journey together. So it was like a mastermind. We would meet, we would talk. It was like a sisterhood circle. And then we would also meet and we would paint in an image or a symbol that came to us that was representative of the theme for the month. So we started in January. By July, we were really letting the fire loose. We were running with the wolves, calling in our beautiful warrior woman, and really lighting up the fire within us and accessing that power within us. The messages were amazing. And as those fires enhanced, as the light within us enhanced, it sharpened the shadows within us. So we have to be aware of the shadows and the healing that came up. And we started to become aware, like by August, we were aware of where were we dimming our light? Where were we pulling back and playing small in order for other people's approval or to keep other people comfortable, right? So we started to recognize that and go, wait a minute, that's not who we are here to be. We are here to light the way, to bring this fire forward for all women. And in September, something very magical happened. I received an amazing, profound message as I was doing a meditation on my own for that month. I purposefully called in my abundance guide. And immediately, as soon as I created Sacred Circle, and then in my mind, I call in my abundance guide, White Buffalo came in and I felt his forehead like, boom, right here, forehead to forehead. He was just like right there. And it was just such a powerful, strong energy. And I thought, oh, okay, White Buffalo is here. And then I watched this White Buffalo in my mind's eye, in my meditation, dance very lightly around this fire that was there. And as he was dancing, and you think, oh, a big buffalo is so heavy, his feet were very lightly kind of prancing around this fire. And the message very strongly came through of walk gently on this earth. And I thought, okay, that's a powerful message, along with abundance, to respect the earth. And I did some journaling on that. And then that evening, I pulled out a book I'm going to show you the book that I had been reading, Return of the Bird Tribes. So many of you maybe have heard of this or read this book before. It's an old book. I think it's 1999 or something like that. 1988, sorry, 88. So I had heard of this book a couple times and I hadn't read it. And I had started it months earlier, and it's kind of a chapter by chapter individual stories. And I had started it months earlier. It was sitting by my bed. I don't know if you're like me, and I have 5 to 7 books on the go all the time. But I went to bed and I picked it up and I'm like, oh, I'm going to read this again. I opened up to where my bookmark was, and there was White Buffalo Calf Woman, the story. Chapter 5 is White Buffalo Calf Woman. And I just thought, White Buffalo, same day. Well, how synchronistic is this? And so it was part of the message. And in that chapter was the message for our September group. And this is what I'm sharing with you here. This is why I'm telling you. It was powerful message about walking with reverence on the earth. as we become powerful creators, and women are the creators, we are the vessel. As we become these powerful creators, we need to remember, respect, hold reverence for the power that is pouring through us, because we are getting to this point where what we intend to create will happen. It will happen. And so, are we holding this power with reverence, respect, and knowing that it's for all, for everyone? So, this is where we kind of begin our journey today. I'm going to flip back to my canvas here too, so you can go with me through this. Now, in the Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystic, I'll tell you little bits of it as we go through. This is a snippet of what we do in there. It is a 9-month journey of going deep, and this gives you an idea of what one part of it could be. But we do go into feminine, divine feminine, feminine energetics. We go into walking with our power, creating intentionally. We go into self-worth, our purpose in life, and healing. Lots of healing happens because in order for us to shine our light brightly, we absolutely need to heal the stuff that's blocking us, right? So the White Buffalo Calf Woman story is about walking with reverence on the earth. I'm going to have you think about this first, and we're going to write our intentions. I'm just going to set our cards aside. We're going to write our intentions on our canvas. So if you think about, what is your intention if you were to rise into your most highest power, your most expansive energy, your direct connection to the power that we have no idea. It is so powerful. So I am going to use red because red represents fire, the color of fire. And that fire symbolizes, in the White Buffalo Calf Woman story, it symbolizes the love of the Great Spirit, the universe, the source, right? And so I always begin with thank you because I intend that this is already created. And these intentions that you write become like a prayer. This is the beginning step of your power, of your creations. And this will be covered up, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And I truly want to walk in my full power. I truly want to shine my light without dulling it, without worrying about making someone else happy. So my prayer is, thank you for helping me walk in my full power, full light. My highest resonance. And you could use a paint pen if you had one. But this is my fire, my red fire. This is my passion. Because I know it's not about corrupt power. It is about divine power. And I cannot serve in this world to my highest ability if I am dulling my light. If I can come in, and if you can come in and shine your light to the highest, to offer your gifts, then you are bringing it to the world. It's what you came here to do. And in the story, White Buffalo does talk, White Buffalo Catwoman, she does talk about this, that you didn't come to just enjoy your little spark for you, but you came here to shine it bright for everyone. And we as women, we have the power to change this world, to recreate and vision in a new world. We are the creators. So whatever I do in this world, whoever I help is fabulous. And I always say, for me too, because it comes through me to you. So for me, for you, and for the world. And this layer will be hidden, but it's the intention that you put into your words right now. Feel it in your heart. Remember too that white buffalo is the symbol of abundance, which I found out much later after my meditation, that white buffalo does represent abundance. Which is what you need in order to keep growing, expanding, and bringing your gifts forward. So I say thank you for the abundance. Brought into my world. So the story of White Buffalo Catwoman begins when two young Sioux warriors are out on the plains and they see a woman approaching. And this beautiful woman dressed in white buckskin. And the first young warrior immediately expresses how he would like to lay with her because she's so beautiful. The second warrior recognized her as a sacred woman who needed to be treated with respect and honor. They represent the two paths that the men of the tribe could take. One of physical satisfaction, satisfying all your desires, and the other of walking in respect and honor of the world. So she comes to talk to the tribe. She goes to their teepee, long story short, she goes to their teepee and addresses the whole tribe. She tells them that She is here to remind them. She's the spirit of truth. She is the mother of the old ones. She is the mother who lives inside every mother, the girl who lives inside every sister child. So she is the divine feminine. She is the face of the Great Spirit. And she's there to remind them to come back into reverence with the world. And as she comes in, she walks gently. And here's another part of the meditation that I saw and how powerful this message was for me. The first thing she does is she walks around the fire 7 times silently in reverence. And as her barefoot feet touch the earth, the respect for the earth is felt. So 7 times she walks in that circle. And she says that the fire symbolizes the love that burns in the heart of the Great Spirit, right? The 7 circles, or 7 sacred circles that she walked around, represent the 7 worlds that it's created, and that we live here with 7 of these worlds, but we're only conscious of the physical world. We've forgotten the other worlds, but it represents the great hoop. And so we're going to draw 7 circles in yellow. So if we've had red, we're going to go yellow. And I'm using a round dish here, just a cottage cheese lid. You can even freehand it. Again, this layer won't be seen, but what you're going to see is if we draw a circle in the center, and I'm just going to use a liquid yellow. Oops. And I'm going to, you can draw the 7 circles in any way that you're called to draw on the canvas, but 7 circles is the flower of life, the sacred symbol. We draw a circle in the middle, and then I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to place my lid halfway over my other circle and draw another circle. So this is a very old story that the First Nations share. Now, where those 2 circles meet on the edges, I'm going to try and put the center about there and just go around 7 times. And you'll see that it is, and you could use a compass if you wanted, it is the flower of life. If you don't know the flower of life, this is the symbol of the flower of life. So if you even had a stencil, that would be fabulous, but we're just going to do this. So draw 7 circles. It's a very, very old story about the pipe ceremony and how the pipe came to the Sioux people and how it was used, the sacred pipe. And you'll see how absolutely relevant it is today. One more after this. And I'm going to put one more for my 7th circle. And so in this story, she's saying that you live with these 7 worlds, but you're not even aware of them. You're not honoring and respecting them, that you only are living in the physical world. Well, that is pretty much where we are at these days, a lot of people living in the physical world, forgetting about the earth and the plants and animals and the spirit world. And she tells them that, yes, passion, intention, they're very strong creators. But passion tempered with wisdom brings us into harmony with the universe. And that flower of life is the beginning. It's the seed splitting. It's the egg splitting and splitting again. It's splitting again. It represents the flower of life. The flower of life is everywhere. You can see it in nature. You can see it you cut an apple open, the core of the apple, right? The sand dollars on the beach. It's everywhere. But creation doesn't take place where there's a scattering or a dissipation of energies. We need to come together. The energy comes together. A gathering together and a focusing. So focusing your power within a circle of commitment. And that's what these circles do represent, is our commitment. And so she brought to them the sacred pipe. So keep that in mind, because there's more you could do with the sacred pipe. But the sacred pipe was had a red clay bowl, and on the bowl was a carving of the buffalo. So the pipe bowl being red, representing the earth, you put the sacred tobacco in there, representing the plant life, and the buffalo carved on the stone of the bowl of the pipe represented the four-legged creatures that share this sacred world with us. And then there were 12 feathers hanging from the stem of the pipe that came from spotted eagle. And they are there to remind you of the feathered races with whom you share the great circle of the sky. They're also there to remind you of the spirit self, right? Your spirit self. And the spirits that are here to share this space with us, to walk with us, to help us, to support us. So as she filled the pipe and began to pass it around, the first breath of the pipe was to represent the Great Spirit. So we're going to now move to blue. And as you take your brush, and I'm going to take a bigger brush to start with. Think about, with this first breath, with this color blue, and you can even add white if you like. And I'm just going to put patches of this color on my canvas in different areas, because we're going to add lots of different colors. I'm just going to create these patches of blue to represent the Great Spirit. So thinking about thoughts, prayers, aspirations, that you're standing up. And give gratitude and reverence to the Great One, the Wakan Tonka, grandfather of all, source, whatever words represent the Great One for you. And that first inhalation, that first prayer goes up to the Great Spirit in love and gratitude. There are many different ways you can paint this background. You can follow me. You can do what feels right for you. You can draw symbols, whatever you feel is the right way for you. My suggestion is to paint lightly, light layers, so they dry for you. If you're new to painting, it's a very playful process. Don't feel like, oh, I did it wrong. We're going to be adding lots of colors on here. And then once you have the blue, the second breath of the sacred tobacco, let your thoughts be of love and gratitude to your mother, the earth. So with this one, we're going to use green. And I'm going to just rinse my brush. And you could use a different brush if you liked. Now, if you don't have green, you can mix your yellow and blue together to create green. And I'm actually going to have this weave around my canvas. I'm going to let the green fill in other areas as if it's like vines growing around my canvas. Maybe even paint some big leaves. You can use different colors of green, different shades. No right or wrong. But as you're painting, give thanks for the grasses of the prairies. Give thanks for the canopy of blue sky that's held over our world. Give thanks to the storm clouds that bring rain. Give thanks to all the creatures in the grasses, the leaves, the medicine of the earth, the water holes, the springs. The trees, the great trees that come up from the earth, the support the Mother Earth brings to us in all the different ways that she supports us, in all the different resources that we have access to help our lives become easier. The third time she passed the pipe around the circle, she told the people in the tribe, let your third breath be for the four-footed and the feathered ones, for the buffalo and the prairie chickens, for the fishes in your rivers, and for all the creatures of this good earth. So with this, I'm going to use golden yellow. I'm going to add some white to my yellow because I have a very bright yellow. And you could use orange too here. And I'm going to add in this color to represent all the animals. When we open circle, the shamanic tradition is that we invite in all our brothers and sisters, the four-legged, the two-legged, the flyers, the swimmers, the crawlers, the creepers, the standing beans, and the rock people. We welcome them into our circle for messages. So when you think about all the times that you've received a message from an animal, you saw deer and the message of being gentle with yourself or kind to yourself was perfect timing. Or you saw an eagle in the tree and it took off in flight as you watched it. So the message of it's time to fly, it's time to go out on your own, it's time to move. They're all there for you. The animals, the birds, the ladybugs, the bees, dragonflies, they all bring us beautiful sacred messages when we are in tune with them. When we are open, we are open to these messages, open to these other worlds, humbly. Welcome, Perlene, Nanda. I didn't see you there. No worries about being late. You're not late. You'll get the recording for this too. So some of you may want to just put the color on the canvas, and others might want to take more time creating an abundance of plants and symbols of animals or insects. And in the interest of time for us, I will keep going. At the end, we're going to paint our buffalo on top. The fourth breath. The fourth breath would be a prayer for your own tribe and for all the people in all the tribes around the world. So we're going to use purple or light purple, dark purple, whichever you like. Just be aware that purple and yellow, when mixed together, will make kind of a gold or brown. So letting your canvas dry a little bit is always nice between layers. And so she continues on with, remember always to treat every creature as a sacred being. The people that live beyond the mountains, the winged ones of the air, the four-footed, the fishes that hide beneath the cool rocks in the silver streams and lakes. All these are your sisters and your brothers. All are sacred parts of the body of the Great Spirit. Each one is holy. But the most difficult part of this teaching may be to extend this respect to the people of your neighboring tribes. And remember, like you, they're sacred people. They're given specific work to do. The tasks might be different from yours, but the purpose you serve is the same. Even the ones that you feel are maybe disconnected, they have a purpose in this great plan. But she advised the people at that time to make sure that they were peaceful with their neighboring tribes, because there was going to come a time when people that didn't share the same color of skin as them would come. And it would be white like the snow, like the falls in the winter months, and the black skin and the yellow skin. And there'll be a time of great challenge for the people. And so they needed to learn to get along. I'm going to add some purple into mine now. One of the tools, I don't know how much experience we have here for most people, but one of the tools that I love using is called liquid gloss glaze. This is a golden version, gloss glazing liquid. And it's lovely for making your layers nice and thin. And that way, as you keep adding layers on, the colors kind of show through. It's one of the things I do like to do.
Janice,
Yes.
do you think that the medium matte golden might work too, or is it specifically that one?
Nope, the medium matte works also.
Okay, thanks.
It's just the difference is that this one is gloss.
Okay,
And so you'll get more of a duller finish, but you can always add a gloss if you wanted gloss. Some people don't like the gloss. They like the matte finish.
okay.
So
But it helps the colors show through still?
yeah,
Okay, perfect.
thins it out. It also extends your drying time a little bit. So really important to, again, use thinner layers.
Yeah.
But okay, so we were on the fourth breath. There is 7 altogether. Representing the 7 worlds that they were to become aware of again. And in the story, she talks about how the tribe had forgotten these teachings, that they used to live in reverence for all 7 worlds, but they had recently forgotten, and that's why she had come, is to remind them to walk in balance and reverence. And so there we go. One thing I noticed is that sometimes I can be painting and they're all kind of one tone. Like they all kind of like all my colors are in the same tone. So then I try to make some lights and darkers and more pure pigments. All right. So then, how's this pace? Are you guys okay with this? Okay, good. So the fifth breath is for the spirit world, all the spirit that surround you. We're going to use pink for that, or magentas, or whatever pinks, reds you have. So with this fifth draw of breath, you offer your love and gratitude to the invisible spirit that guides you. You'll see that the spirit world is real, inhabited by wise and benevolent beings that watch over your trials and hardships, unable to offer you help or assistance until you ask them. With this smoke, ask the spirit beings that surround you to come into your life. Tell them you want help and the great spirit in their work, and ask them how you can do this. By helping the great spirit in the work of this higher level, you can do this for everyone. You help yourself far more than you were merely concerned with your own affairs. You actually help everyone. You radiate that light out, right? You were not meant to come loving just what you need alone, but that you could give this away and share this with others. And so with this pink, I need more white here. With this pink, you are remembering that there's help there for you. So as I add this pink in, filling in all the spaces, it reminds me that I am not working alone in a bubble, that there is help. And it fills in all the nooks and crannies in my life. And even though I'm doing this as kind of patchwork, you can blend as much as you want. Just if it starts to look a little muddy, just let it dry. And you can go back over it with some pure colors, pure pigments. So straight colors right out of the tube is what I mean by pure. And you can blend them if you want. You can create shapes. You can go in different directions. Accessing the different spirit world, angels, guides, teachers. That's a big part of the Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystic program. And when I started my shamanic training back in 2000, I can't remember, 2006 or 7, the first thing my teacher taught us was all about the beautiful sacred soul gifts that we get as we begin to open up more to the universe. We all get these beautiful sacred gifts, and it comes through, and these psychic gifts come through in different ways because we're all so unique and different. But it is part of the growth. It happens. And every single one of us has these abilities. And even if you're not enhancing these gifts, you're going to find that you're more intuitive. And you start to just know things, and things come through, and you begin to channel things. And so in the Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystic program, I teach you how to enhance those gifts and not to be afraid of them, because they are natural, they are already within you. And we don't get stuck on it. It is just a natural process as we begin to raise our own frequency up and resonate at higher levels. We begin to become aware of these other worlds. And it's all beautiful and good. There's nothing to be afraid of. I'm actually going to have another evening. I'm calling it Evening with the Mystics, a free Zoom where I will share the first module of the Creative Mystic portion of the certification, just so people can see, because sometimes the idea of just even the word mystic might be a little alarming for some people. When other people are like, well, I can't do that. I'm not like that. And yes, you are. Yes, you are. So, okay. So I have a very colorful canvas here, a rainbow canvas. So we have 2 more rounds of the beautiful sacred peace pipe. It is the 6th smoke is to 6 people whom you would like to be most especially blessed. So it could be a loved one whose spirit has flown from their body. It could be, a man or woman who's just entering adulthood. It could be a leader. It could be somebody that you want to see, a grandparent, grandmothers or families, but you choose 6 people whom you would like the universe to most smile upon. And for them, you offer this smoke. And she also advised that at this point, this round of taking a breath from the pipe could be done in 6 small breaths. So as you add whatever color you feel your canvas needs, you're going to create a thought, a prayer for 6 different people in your life or around you. So I will let you do that, and I will be quiet while you think. She told the Sioux people to hold the pipe with great respect, carry it with them always, treat it as a sacred object, honor all creatures, and live your life in harmony with this sacred way of balance, of which every tree, every flower, and every new day speaks. If you ever feel that you've stepped aside from the path of the sacred way, if ever your heart should feel heavy within you, don't waste time in regret. She said she would give them the ceremony, a ceremony with which each of you can do in company with others, alone in your lodge or out upon the prairie. Stop your activities, find a rock upon which to sit, asking for the Great Spirit's guidance as I have taught you. Unwrap your pipe and let its red bowl remind you of the sacred road, the sacred way of life, the red pathway of the sun. And after you've smoked your smokes to the Great Spirit, to the earth, to the animals, and to the people who are true to reality, after you've given your thanks to the four directions, then take a fifth smoke, asking for the guidance of the winged beings of the spirit world. Ask the particular winged being of the spirit world that is closest to you to help you see the wisest path to follow. Ask that spirit to help you make the clearest choice, to help you know the steps you're about to take upon the path, the deepest knowing that of where you would travel. In time, you will come to know that spirit being as your own true self. And for now, just rest in the still place where the deepest knowing makes its lodge. This will put you in touch with what you may have forgotten in the hurry of life. This will allow the fire that burns within you to speak to you in plain and unbroken terms. The final and seventh smoke, she explained, must be taken in silence, for it was offered to the great being from which every being was drawn. For that sacred mystery at the source of life, it was better, she said, to have no words. So for your seventh smoke, your seventh layer, your seventh color, choose the one that feels most fitting for you and add whatever you are most drawn to add. And so this way of walking, this knowing that there is more to this world, this walking in soulful alignment, sorry, I can't speak, that is what the soulfully aligned creative mystic is all about. The soulfully aligned creative mystic is aware of all the different worlds, is aware of the guidance, knows how to connect, knows how to create sacred space. goes within for counsel instead of looking externally around us. And this is not something that you can shift into overnight. This is a journey. And that's why the Creative Mystic program is a 9-month journey, is because there are layers that we walk through. There are layers of understanding, depths of understanding that we get to, messages that come through that are just for you. And when you come to the end of that 9-month journey, you know where your guidance comes from. And with that, your purpose becomes clear, your worth, your self-love, your confidence. It all grounds in, and it's beautiful. So she said to them, she compared her teachings to a tree growing, and that the tree would grow for many generations, and then it would be cut down in a storm and appear to be gone. The tree will seem to die, the sacred hoop will wither until it's all but forgotten. The light will grow dim and become just an ember. But a few will keep the light of truth within their heart. And when the storm is over, that ember will ignite a dawn brighter than any dawn before. A new tree will grow more glorious than the tree she left them all with. And she says, with the new dawn, she will return under the shade of that new tree. I will live with you. And with us will be gathered not only the tribes shaded red, but the white tribes from the north, and the black tribes from the south, and the yellow tribes from the east. In harmony, the 4 races will live beneath the boughs of the new tree. The age that we will see together will be the best that has ever been. All that has been broken will be made whole. The sacred hoop will be mended. The game will be plentiful, and the spirits of all creatures will rejoice in the harmony of the new and perfect order. The great spirit, the very thunderbird, will be active within the races, living, breathing, creating through the peoples of the earth. Peace will then come to the nations, for the original creators of life, the winged ones of heaven, will return. We are in those times right now. We are seeing the chaos in the world because the shift is occurring. And we need the ones that remember this truth in their heart to rise up and to lead the way forward. This is why we're here during this time of chaos, during this time of transition. We are on the cusp of moving away from chaos into a new world of people rising up, people awakening that there's more to this world than they ever thought. I mean, just think about it. Just like 20 years ago, people wouldn't talk like this. They wouldn't gather this way and talk about the spirit world. It was a hush-hush thing. And now it's open conversation in rooms. And this is what's happening to our world. People are rising up, they're restless, they're not happy with the way it is, and they want change. And we need soulfully aligned leaders to walk the path with them, to teach them. And so as women are awakening, the soulfully aligned creative mystics will help gather circles and walk them through that journey and teach them the ways of sacred reverence. We need to remember that, because as we rise up and have the power to create and recognize that power to create, there needs to be a reverence for it. So now we will create our buffalo on top of here. So now, if you haven't looked at some buffalo images, I just printed off just a few outlines of different, well, technically, you guys, they're bison. I do know the difference between a buffalo and a bison. But the story is great white buffalo, although the image is a bison. So I just have these to guide me. I always use something of that sort. And yeah, I have a couple I'll show you here that I started to give you some juicy creative flow. So here is one where I just created the outline and I had no idea what I was going to do. I just started playing and adding things. There's a little bit of a stencil here. You may see, if you have stencils, you could stencil around. But I drew the outline of the buffalo, and then, as it always goes with creativity, creativity flows. And so as you do one thing, you get an idea for another thing. And so I put turtle on her hump here, and I added plants for the earth growth, that sort of thing. Here's another one that I had started. I didn't get to finish, but this one, oops, I did more the face full on. So I just painted in white. I added blue for the shadows, and I'll walk through this in the next one. And just started to create shape on her. And she's very similar to the one behind me, the one I used in my marketing. This is more similar to that one. Okay. And then I also had another canvas that I had started and I didn't like the way it was looking. So I threw in a nice dark background and I thought, oh, wouldn't that be beautiful? A celestial white buffalo in the stars. So I liked that idea too. I have an owl that I did like that, in like an owl constellation kind of painting. So yes. Okay, so I'll demo creating this one, because this one came through with all of you. I just have to decide when what I want my buffalo with just the outline or the face. It's funny, you know what, when I was doing my other paintings, I just noticed these spots right now and I'm looking at it going, oh, it looks like peacock feathers. And honest to goodness, when I was doing the other practice paintings, peacock feathers kept showing up. So peacock is in my, I have never worked with peacock energy. That's interesting, but this definitely, I'm like, coming through. This is what happens. Those beautiful spirit beings come through for you insistently, bringing messages. All right. So you guys, do you have a preference of how you want the buffalo to look? Do you want the face facing straight up or the outline? I'll go with the majority vote. Put it in the chat. What would you like? An outline, contour, or which is the simplest if we're keeping it simple, right? Or the face head on. So put your vote in the chat. face. Outline face. We need a few more votes. It scares you. Okay. Okay. You guys were at a tie. Face. Okay, face wins. All right. So that is the harder one than the outline. The outline, I would just like go with this one if I was doing the outline. Oops, can't see. Hold on. That one. And that one's just off, just Google a bison image or bison drawing. And it will come up for you. But I'll use this one for now. Okay. So before I start, I always look at it and go, well, how big do I want the face to be? And I look at my canvas and I kind of get a visual. I don't start drawing or painting until I can actually see it in my mind's eye on the canvas. It's kind of tricky. Let me just turn my canvas and see. There. Another neat idea is turn your canvas. I see a really big, I see a really big face, but then his horns won't be in there. Okay, okay, I think I see him now. I'm gonna use white. Okay. So I kind of want him off to the side a little bit here. So I just going to create like his head shape a little bit. And more like a drawing of this reminds me of a drawing of a tooth. Kind of triangular, not too triangular. And his hump, her hump, come up here. So if her horns are here, let's say, then her eyes are just below. So just gonna draw a line for the center. And the neat thing with acrylic paints is you can change over them. Oops, that one's not right. You can paint over top, right? Anything that I don't like, I can paint over top. Now the bison mouth is, I always make their face a little too short. I'm going to come down a little more. Got the nose down here. The nose and the mouth kind of blend together. I'm going to show you in a minute here on my painting. So I'm not worrying about it looking like perfect right now. I'm just getting some guidelines in. And I want nothing weird coming down. and switch to a bigger brush. So also what I'm going to do is use blue, and I'm just putting a little bit of white in to solidify her, but use blue and purple as my shadows. Which I have here. So putting in the places where there would be shadow first. I'm just going to kind of do a rectangle for the nose. Sorry, my canvas is probably banging and you're hearing that. It's not very flat. It's bubbly on me. One thing I like to do is get the eyes in, because then I can see better. No pun intended. The buffalo can see better. So I'm just going to outline in black. Start to see a little bit more shape coming through. keeping it really simple. Okay, it doesn't have to be the best painting in the world. I'm just going to keep it simple. Shaping. I'm using a bigger brush here too. Starting to see them. So really just working with white and blue here, a little bit of purple, but mostly white and blue to create almost like what they call a tonal painting. And after I get that shape and I might add, some more colors, like some little bits of browns or sepia tones. But let me just get my shadows in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take the camera off me and so that you can see the painting behind me or off my painting, put it on me. Okay, I'm going to move this baby forward. I'm going to show you it's going to be kind of up sideways, but I want to show you the nose. Hold on. I can do this. I'd be upside down. Oh, I can move my camera. Hold on. Upside down nose. Sorry, be awkward. Oh, okay. That's why I did kind of a rectangle in blue for the nose. And then I was going to start shaping it and the eyes. But you notice the undertones are blues underneath, and they create a little bit of the shadows. So if you want to go to that detail, you can. Now, I'm going to put it back up. So right now, I'm just starting with some of the shadows, blues and whites. For this one, I simply outlined in black and painted white inside, and then added an eye, the nose, the horn, and a little ear. Okay. Your buffalo can look as simple as you want or as complicated as you want. If you find yourself getting frustrated at this point, notice that. Take a breath and just say, you know what? I don't have to get this right now, right here, today. I can keep working on this. I can add more later. So and just so you know, I have many shamanic paintings that I never finished. And many times I go back to them later with another idea to add in. And the message that comes through for that time is perfect. Going to come a little closer. It will stay there. There we go. Okay. Just going to fix up his nose. It's 3:33 here. So we have about a half hour to work on playing around. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. If you have any questions about the Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystic program, let me know. Just put it in the chat or unmute yourself. I'm happy to talk to you about it. I am doing these little things to help promote it. However, I like painting with you too. So the certification program begins June 21st. Of course, perfect time. Summer solstice. And it goes for 9 months. And the thing about certifications is that it's what people are looking for right now. They feel held and safe if they know you have a certification in something. And I do have certifications in, I took the Creatively Fit coaching certification. I've taken 2 levels of training with Gabby Bernstein. And I've taken lots of coaching programs. I'm in a women's recovery coaching program right now to help us heal through and clear out those traumas and whatever we've walked through. Could be anything, could be divorce, could be addictions, could be abuse, could be growing up in addictive homes. People were addicted to different drugs or alcohol. It could even be traumas like coming from separation, divorce, money traumas. We all have the journey, the underworld journey. And so it's all about how do we, that's our gold. That's where our gifts are. And when we learn to release the traumas that we've held within us, release the cellular memory of those traumas, and not only reap the gifts, but to recognize when we're triggered, that is true healing. And so I started my spiritual journey, as I said, back in 2006 or 7, one of those years. I went through a trauma at that time, and that catapulted me into it. However, being a soulful spiritual seeker is something I have been since I was a young child. But it was at that point where I was redirected in my life, and I jumped in, and strange things happened because the universe was pointing me in that direction. And I was invited to join a shamanic circle at that time. The shaman running it, this is back in Ontario. I live in Alberta right now, but back in Ontario, on the Six Nation reservation. She invited me to join her Medeawin Society, which was a circle of women and men, sorry, not just women, but there were men there too, to learn and to develop my gifts. And also heal. And that was the beginning of my journey. So I learned how to create sacred circle. I learned the traditional First Nations path. And it was wonderful, amazing. The things that happened were unbelievable, right? Like just miracles and energy movement that, well, I'll talk about that in the evening with the mystics. But every time I have strayed off my path, every time, like in the story when White Buffalo Woman says, when you find that you've strayed and you're confused, or you don't know, or you feel lost, then you recenter back. You create the sacred space. You do the ceremony to come back with full heart and intention. I am drawn back into the world in such a more powerful way than I was before, every time. And now I don't stray away anymore, other than maybe in moments throughout a day, but now it's become such a part of my life, this sacred walk, this soulful alignment. It's not an on again, off again. Now I stay there. And it's time to bring more women into my world. That was funny. Okay. So as you're painting your buffalo, think about everything this buffalo represents. Abundance, reverence, walking softly on the earth. That's your intention. Your intention is powerful. Your intention of what you are creating in your world. What is it that you want more of? What is it that you want to create? How do you want to walk in your world? And it's not, I mean, it includes, yes, when we say reverence for the earth, it includes being a good caretaker of the earth, but it goes even deeper than that. This power that we have to create is like we are only just tapping into the surface of it with all that we're learning right now. There's so much more to it. There's so much more depth. There's so much available for us. And being able to just sink in, to know that any answers, any guidance that you want in your life is a matter of taking time to just settle in quiet to your quiet space, to create that sacred space, to go within and get the answers from your heart, and that know that you can trust them. That is the path of the walk of the mystic. The path of a mystic is somebody that actually wants to deepen their relationship with this power. It's not about being the local psychic. It's about you deepening your relationship with this beautiful power that's available, creating a relationship. And that is exactly what White Buffalo Calf Woman's message was all about. It was about walking the path of being reverent and aware and in constant communion with this source. Okay. How are you guys doing? We got a few minutes left. I would love to see some. Mine looks funny in the when I look on the or look on the screen, it looks a little offset. Ooh, down Maine, that looks fabulous. Oh, I love it. Joanna, oh, has he got wings? Almost looks like she's got wings. Beautiful, Joanna. Nice. Oh, Jen, I can't see down. Oh, wow. Look at the power there. That's fabulous, Jen. I love it. This painting of mine that I have behind me it sits in my space, in my meditative space, on my north wall, because white buffalo, Waboos, is the spirit keeper of the north. And well, in the traditions that I've learned. So some traditions are different animals, but basically same idea. But Waboos, great white buffalo, is spirit keeper of the north and brings in the element of earth. The north is the element of earth. So very fitting that when I called in my abundance guide, great white buffalo came in very strongly. And that mimicking of walking the circle around the fire, lightly dancing, was very similar to white buffalo calf woman's message of how she walked reverently around the circle 7 times. So okay, well, I am going. Oh, let me. I thought you were showing me again, Joanna. All right. Thank you all for being here. Please reach out if you have any questions at all. I hope that you love your buffalo, bison. Hang it in your space. Remember the energy that the intentions that we put into this painting, they exude the energy out into your space. Every time you look at your painting, you will remember the story of White Buffalo Calf Woman and how she taught us all to walk with respect, to hold our power with reverence. And that was the message very strongly that came through about circling up. When we put out this group that I was with, when we put out our intention to the universe that we were going to get a teepee so that we could circle up in reverence, so that we would come back into the teepee and remember every time we went out into the world and we got caught up in the world events, we would come back to this circle. We would remember with reverence. We would remember our power. We would come back into our center and support each other, replenish, renew, and then go back out there into the world to shine our light in whatever way it is that we were meant to shine. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Yes. And reach out to me if you have any questions. All right. And come join me in Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystic certification. I'm so excited to start this program. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You are so welcome.
Much gratitude.
You are welcome. I love it.
Thank you,
Have a
Jen.
great day. You're welcome, Joanna. Bye.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Oh, good. Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thanks.
Tammy.
Bye.
Bye, guys.